Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining us for another episode of Talking Fight, the Friday night panels with you. And today we've got a very special guest joining us, Tim Witherspoon Jr., all the way from Philadelphia. Kind of.
Your brotherly love.
Kind of from Philly, yeah.
And cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about that is Philadelphia, unfortunately, another bad thing about us is that we're like number one in diabetes as well in America.
Really?
So cheesesteaks and all that. I'm gonna try to stop advertising it as much because
Sweet. Hey, Mike, we learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And I learned something today.
Yeah. So I got a text from my father, my little sister saying that he's trying to get on, but he can't.
Yeah, we're used to that by now.
Yeah. I think this is like 3 weeks now, 4 weeks.
So sooner or later he'll come on. He'll be like either sideways.
You know what?
Right.
I think I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to show up to his house.
Tell him how to do it.
Set it all up for him. It'll work until I leave.
You'll probably come all the way down here just to press one button.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So Tim, while we're waiting for your dad to join us, you had a boxing career that's now, well, I guess it's been a few years since you've been in the ring, but you're now a gym owner, right?
Yeah. I've been retired for 6 years now, and I turned what I learned from boxing and all that into a career and teaching other people how to box. And it's been going pretty good. We're 3 years in, and growing.
Awesome. Growing in the sense that you're looking to franchise, or
so I'm not really trying to I think that if we franchise Witherspoon Boxing, then it will lose a lot of authenticity, because we do teach people how to really box, even if they don't really want to ever get hit or spar. We still teach them, the proper technique and how we had to do it as fighters. So everyone's learning the cross arm defense. Everyone's learning the overhand right, learning really ring generalship. And if I'm not there to oversee that because we have a gym in Chicago, I think that, that would really kind of damage the brand. So if I do another business, it's going to be something totally different and unrelated. Cheesesteaks, yeah. And I'll open it up right next to the gym.
Yeah.
So we can kill two birds with one stone.
Just vent the restaurant right into the gym. So the
Exactly.
Right. See, smart. That's what business.
A great business model right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Out of curiosity, one of the things that we've noticed since we launched this channel, and we have a young lady by the name of Scarlett Delgado do a show called The Female Fist. But one of the things that we've noticed is there's an awful lot of interest among women in boxing, not just professionally, and certainly not through the amateur ranks with the Olympics just finishing, but in gyms such as your own. Are you noticing a lot of women?
My gym is actually based to cater towards women, not because that's what we want to do. But if you can get women to enjoy it, then everybody else, they're going to enjoy it as well. So we make sure that the facility is clean and smells good. The atmosphere is not one of those atmospheres in a traditional boxing gym where you go and there's just guys with their shirts off hitting a heavy bag. We still have that, we have that, but when it comes to getting the customers that aren't trying to compete, that aren't trying to go to the Olympics, we definitely put women first, and they are our number one customers. So anybody that has a gym, I guess it goes in a lot of businesses. I know that they say, like, if you have a nightclub and you get the women, then everybody else will come. I feel like it's the same way in the gym field. In boxing as a workout, not competing as a workout is and at least in America and definitely in our area is becoming the choice of a lot of non-traditional boxers. A lot of people that you wouldn't normally see in the boxing gym are now crossing over into the boxing gym. I don't know why. I don't have the answer for that one, but I'm seeing a lot of people that you wouldn't normally see try combat sports coming into my gym.
It's interesting because we've heard, originally there was an element of self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was just the actual fitness part of it. And now we're starting to see this migration of women actually into the ring and not being afraid to get hit in the face.
Yeah.
Speaking of being hit in the face.
There we go, Sally. So what he can add to this is that my mom was a good fighter and she used to beat him up. They used to spar.
He does say that. He already told us.
He already told you that. You already know.
He said the one that he feared the most was the one at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, man, this thing is hard. Sometimes it's hard getting on these things, man.
You know what? Next time, call the Geek Squad and get them to come over and do it for you.
No, all I got to do is get a laptop. And my daughter has a laptop, but it's certain stipulations in it because it's from the school. She can't use certain things on it. Yeah. So I heard you, Tim. Everything good?
Yeah. Everything is good, man. Everything's great.
Okay.
So, Tim Jr. I guess I guess we'll just go Junior and is that good? Or
and the old man. The old man.
How about we say Tim and the champ?
We're pretty good at because there's three of us. There's Tim Witherspoon III as well. So we're pretty good at figuring out who's talking to who.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you about so you said you started the gym 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
So how fast did your membership grow?
So yeah, that's a great question. At first, I thought because I was Tim Witherspoon Jr. that people were just gonna come in droves, and that the first day that it opens, I was very naive, and I'm like, oh, this is the greatest thing. And then the first week, I did get a lot of signups, but then it dropped really quick, and I was like practically crying. And I wasn't crying, but I'm like, oh, I need people to show up. I'm here all day, and then slowly but surely, we started becoming a part of the community, like doing the Christmas parades, they have this thing where vendors can come and display their business. We have you guys are from Canada. We have a local ice hockey rink where we always go to opening day. So the way that I built a lot of, besides, using the internet, social media, the way that I have built a big following is doing things in our community, such as raising money for the local food pantry. People come and ask me to do charities. We do public cleanups around exactly where the gym is, and it gets a nice little buzz for Witherspoon Boxing. So we pretty much, our motto is we put that positive energy out there, and people are seeing it, and it's coming back. And now the wheels on the bus are rolling, and we can't stop it. Yeah. So, but it wasn't easy, that those first, I was like gonna puke because you put so much, not just money, just time. You're having these expectations, but anybody that has a business, they know that it takes a little while. But new entrepreneurs really don't understand that. You think that it happens overnight, but that's not the case. It's actually quite like boxing, Right. You think that you're going to be in Las Vegas on your first fight, but it don't work that way. You got to do the little club shows. You got to work your way up to that. It's the same thing with business.
Right. So when you first started, I know your gym is geared towards women, you were saying.
Yeah, well, we definitely cater towards women and make the environment.
So is your gym more female membership heavy, or is it equal?
I think that is equal, because we have a lot of women. I think a lot of men, come to the gym, they work out. I think that it's actually pretty down the middle, and for a boxing gym to be down the middle with equal women, equal men, also very diverse. You come into my gym, you'll see all different kinds of people hanging out with each other. You'll see businessmen hanging out with bikers, and you'll see, kids talking to older people. And that's just because we're in the community, I think.
Right. What was your motivation? What was the motivation to start this all?
I needed a job. So I retired from boxing.
He couldn't make hoagies.
But what happened before I retired, years before I retired, I would say about maybe even more. I got I always get tongue tied when I say shoulder surgery.
Yes.
I got surgery on my shoulder, and I am a high school dropout. I went to get my GED, which is the equivalent of a high school diploma. Right. So when I got injured because I was a professional fighter, I went and I got my personal training certification because I couldn't train or anything like that. So I took that time to get certified as a personal trainer. So at the end of my career, it was overlapping. I was making money teaching people how to box while I was still training and boxing myself. So when I stopped boxing, I went directly into training people, making more money that way than actually fighting. And then, I started training my first 2 clients for free. And then that turned into another client. That turned into me working for a gym, and then that gym closing down, and people liking my training so much that they built a gym in their house. I would go to their house and train people in this. And that's what really got my mind. Like, if people were willing to build a house on their farm for me to come to their house and train them, then I could really open up a gym and really do that. So with that motivation, I had a couple of people that wanted to offer me deals and to go into business with them, and I turned them down. And then I just ran into the right situation that I could actually own 100% of the business. And the rest is history.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great story. Great motivation, man.
Yeah.
Go on, Graham.
I'm just curious, out of curiosity, how many other boxing gyms are there in the
So my competition is less than a mile away from me. We're in the same neighborhood, but they've been open for about a decade already. I don't look at them as competition because I'm doing my own thing. We're very successful with what we do, passing on the knowledge of that my father taught me, and his trainer taught both of us. Has really, Slim Jim Robinson. There's no replacing having that knowledge. No. And it really shows with our customers, and we have people that have no business learning how to box, actually getting good and actually doing that. But as far as my competition, like when people come into my gym, they're so close that sometimes people try out both gyms. And I usually say, hey, if you're on the fence, why don't you go try them out? If you like them, then good. If you don't like them, then, we'll be here for you. There's plenty of people that want to do the sport of boxing for everybody. So I'm not in competition with my competition. But
it sounds like it honestly sounds like you're offering something that they don't.
Yeah, they don't offer it. And just passing on the culture of boxing, how to behave in the gym, how to be organized in the gym, how to, prepare yourself for a fight. Like my dad always told me, you always have to have, your hand wraps in your bag, your gloves in your bag. It's like having a pencil when you go to the classroom. And that's the kind of model that we we pass on to, and the people love it. They eat it right up because it's you can't fake authenticity. And that's the thing that we do have that the other gym doesn't have, that the owner of that gym actually never competed before. So
and do you ever bring in celebrities into your gym?
Not just my dad. That's that's it. No, we have
Champ, don't roll your eyes. You're a celebrity. Come on now.
You're
the celebrity heavyweight champion. What do you mean?
That's bull. That's bull. Damon Feldman and stuff, that's over. That's over.
Yeah.
So we doing this here. We doing this interview, and I really don't want to get Damon no. If Tim wants to, he's my friend, and I'm gonna do this real quick. He's my friend in boxing for years, and then when it came to celebrity boxing, I am the celebrity heavyweight champ. He stopped calling me, and so I got a lot of things going on. I don't want to mess this thing up. If I don't want to talk to him. I'm not going to praise him, but it's wrong. So I fought twice, and then he got Reddick Bowe. I didn't want to fight Reddick Bowe. He can't even talk. He's pay him some money where he don't have to box.
Get him on the microphone.
Huh?
Put him on the microphone.
So that's around it. I don't really talk about him. It's over. I think he's going to run into a roadblock down the road. I don't wish he do. I just want to do my thing. I want to do my thing and be happy. So he went real quick. One time he called me up and said, "Tim, what are you doing to me? Why are you doing?" Because I made a couple of statements, and I said, "Look, man, don't worry about it." I said, "Forget about it. I was supposed to be the celebrity heavyweight champ of the world, and we friends. We supposed to work and look out for each other. But I don't want to get in no mess. And so, as far as Reddick Bowe, I don't want to fight him. And if I was to fight him, I'll just hit him to the body. But I just stayed away from it. I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing. Tim is doing real great. I'm going training people here and there. We having fun. So I don't want to get mixed up with Damon Feldman because he got a lot of young people, rappers, and all that. You see the big fight on there the other day. That's going too far.
I forgot we were live. I forgot we were live.
Tim, did you see them guys? They overdid it. Now, if you trying to like get your opponent upset before the fight and show the people that there's a big interest, they overdo it.
Yeah.
They overdo the fight, the argument before the fight. So that makes
they sell a big hype and then it never happens.
Right.
Yeah.
No, well, the thing is,
it happens, just not as exciting as they hyped it up to be, and then it's like, what the hell is this?
Exactly, but they overdo it when they stand and look eye to eye to each other, and then they overdo it. They start pushing it, start acting like they really in a big fight, and you're not supposed to really go that far. Just push them and then point your finger at them. Stuff like that.
Etiquette, just like you were saying, Tim.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying, you teach the etiquette, you teach the beginning, the fundamentals, wraps in the bag, how to prepare for fights, how to prepare for weigh-ins.
Yeah.
That's it. Tim, did you find it hard to give it up, man? Did you find it hard to retire? I know you were like double dipping and you were making money training and
talking about Tim.
Yeah.
Okay.
I at the time also kind of was going through a lot of personal issues. My kids were young at the time, and if you don't fight, you're not making money.
Right.
And I had a knee injury, and I don't know if you know about the American health system, but at the time, I didn't have health insurance, so it was chronic. My last fight, I was running and my knee popped. They say that you hear a pop.
Yeah.
I never I've been an athlete my whole life. I've never heard anything pop on my body. That time I heard something pop. And I had a week until the fight. We still went and fought. I lost a decision. It was kind of a little depressing for me in that way.
Dusty, you didn't fight Dusty, did you?
No, that was the fight before that.
Baker, whatever his name was.
So like
Jeff Lentz.
Yeah, Jeff Lentz. That's it. I really I can't say how I was feeling after I retired, but now I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be in life. You know, fighting is one thing, but what do you do after fighting? And I'm one of the lucky ones that got a chance to figure that out for myself. Figure out that I'm much more than just a fighter. I'm an entrepreneur. I can go now and hang out with, the politicians of our neighborhood, and people can see me as a positive role model in the community. So I'm just like every other fighter, where I miss everyone cheering for you being the center of attention, and actually going to war with somebody. I do miss that, but I definitely have come to peace with knowing that I've found some great things to do with myself after, and make more money that way after.
What I like about him, and me and his sister was talking about it. I was telling how good of not a rapper, but like a Mick Jagger rapper. Tim is good. I was really proud. He did a show. I don't know what his show was. Me and his sister was talking about it the other day. We was up we was up there in Harrisburg, and I told her how good he was. I'm away going to England. I'm going to different places training, and I was wondering why he was staying up in that room. I wonder what Tim doing up there. No, this is years, like 2-3 years. Then I seen him writing little stuff. He had all these literature and stuff. And then he did a show. I don't know where he did that show at. He was like, it was a rock rap. It wasn't like the regular rap in like New York and Philly and Chicago. It was that like the Mick Jagger, like I wish he'd go back and try and do that again though. I was shocked. He jumped on the speaker, then jumped on the piano. I'm saying, he was doing like Mick Jagger. I couldn't believe it. And all those years, he was going back in the room quiet, doing stuff. And I said, what the hell Tim doing? And then he came out in the open, and I saw all these music he was doing. And then I seen him perform. I couldn't believe it. He's really good. I'm not saying that because my son.
I appreciate it.
He was jumping on stuff like the Rockers do. Jumped on a man on top of his head. Somebody.
Oh wow!
No,
is there video of this? Is there video of this?
There's probably videos somewhere. There's probably videos.
Where did you jump on? You was on the stage?
I can't remember. I used to do that when I used to perform everywhere.
He was good.
Just like boxing, when you're writing music and performing, you got to do it every day. Yeah. It's not something that you can just pick up and do. So when he's saying that, I'm laughing, but I can't do it anymore the way I used to. It's over.
Well, I was really shocked. I couldn't believe it. He was hiding. I don't know if he was hiding, but he was in the room all the time, and I heard him like doing a little rap singing. And then a couple years later, I found out what he was doing. We didn't know he was doing that. You still got all that music, Tim?
Yeah.
Good. And I've seen him perform. Did you perform at a boxing event or something? Where was that at?
No, when you saw me perform, it was in a park for those music producers that had to do with Steve Ratner.
Oh,
back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, those park parties.
It wasn't.
Did you film it?
It was a good decade ago.
Yeah. Man, I feel old sometimes, man. When we talk about this stuff.
I don't know. I'm trying to put the music part behind me, Now they listen to the music. It'll be old school because all these young guys are out there.
Do you have any fighters that you're training right now that are on the come up, that are in the amateur that we should be looking for?
Yeah, we're gonna be promoting our next show. I've promoted one show. I was only 4 months open. We had an amateur boxing show. It went really well, and this is going to be the second one. My goal and my idea is, I don't want to really tell you because you might buy tickets and try to come fly in and see it. But if I can pull it off, I want to have my dad do an exhibition. I want to do an exhibition, and then have Timothy Witherspoon III have his first amateur fight.
Nice.
On the show, and that's September 25th, right outside the gym. It's an outside show. So that's really my goal. If I really had it my way, I would only train my son, because that's really I really enjoy that. But we have a couple other guys. We got a heavyweight named Justin Litz. He had some other trainers. This is going to be his first fight with me in the amateurs.
Just like Ted Cobb. Exactly like Ted Cobb.
Yeah. And I have another kid with no fights named Dylan. His name is Dylan. I can't think of his last name off the top of my head. And he's with no fights. He already looks pretty seasoned and everything. So those three guys off the bat are who I'm looking to fight next month. And I really look at that as my first really having my own fighters really compete. The first one I had guys helping me and everything. We're only 4 months open, but this is really me putting some time into these kids and them having their first fights. I have a girl named Ella Hood who has no fight. She's converted from karate. I'm trying to train her to compete by the end of the year. And I have another little kid named Solomon Webb, and he's only 11. But I don't know, like, the crazy part about training people, and my dad can probably tell you, is that, if you start from scratch and then you see them to the point to where they're about to fight, it's amazing how far they come. Mm-hmm. And this little kid, Solomon, even with COVID and everything, has really honed his skills. It's really crazy to see these kids come from nothing to actually maybe being better than me one day. Right. When you're training people, you don't realize how much you know. I didn't realize how much I knew and I could pass on until I actually had to do it every day. Now I'm like, wow, I got a degree in this, and I'm using it to pass it on.
When I used to train some people in Muay Thai, and I'll tell you, there's one thing when you take somebody from nothing to something.
Yeah, but I know what you're about to say.
It's like this sense of like accomplishment that just comes over you, where it's like, I did that, and it's like, you really realize how much you do know and how much you remember being yelled at about the basics.
Yeah.
Right? The basics. Yeah. Always about the basics. If you don't know the basics, then you don't know nothing else. So I remember being drilled as a student. Basics. Yeah. And you find how you start to really realize what that meant, and you start drilling it the same. And then you really realize that you've now become the teacher.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And the other thing that I notice is that I'm teaching people with the same mindset that my dad taught me, where you don't get compliments. even if you do it perfect, you can still do it better. Now that's where I come in having trouble with the women, because they want compliments. And I'm like, you did it good, but you can do it better. Yeah. So I'm catching myself being the 63-year-old Tim sometimes.
Oh, that's great.
Do you still follow boxing, like the fights that are going on these days?
Yeah, you have to. I one of the things that I deal with with being a gym owner is that you're constantly talking to people. As soon as I get out of the car, someone's asking me questions, and I can't be the gym owner that doesn't know about the most current fight. I have to be current and have my opinions and give that. Now, I'm not the best at catching every fight, But I was really looking forward to the Pacquiao Spence fight. I'm still looking forward to Pacquiao Ugas. But it's not that fight. I think they're both good fights, actually.
I think the Spence one would have been a lot better, though.
Yeah. Well, because
I think the Spence one would have been more entertaining.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more excitement.
Because everybody knows Spence, too. Because a lot of people know Spence, and they wanted to see that fight, too.
Yeah. Like, he hasn't been in the ring in a while, too, right? So,
right.
So
he had one fight since his car accident?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I believe it's only one. I'm excited to see the Nigerian Boatsi. Wow.
Is he on the same? Is he on the same show?
No, he's fighting this weekend on Saturday.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah. Fight week 3 in the camp. Boatsi fights Bolanutkis. And there's some big fights on that card, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see that.
Did you see there's that British kid who's 20-0 fighting tomorrow night as well?
Yes. So is one of our guests that's coming on next week, Brian Norman Jr., who's 20-0 fighting his 21st.
Okay.
But on the I believe he's at a. Oh, actually, I got so many guys that I talked to, I can't even remember where he's from. Give me 1 second. He fights out of.
Was he from down
Atlanta.
south?
Atlanta.
Where?
Atlanta.
Yeah,
he's out of Atlanta. This kid, man, he's 20-0 right now. I believe it's 18 knockouts. He's going for his 21st fight. This kid, man, he's lightning fast.
What weight class?
Yeah, what weight?
He is in the.
You got all the information right up in front of you.
He's in the welter division. In the welter division, he's 5'8", 72-inch reach. He's only 20 years old. He takes after his father, Brian Norman Sr., and who was also known as the Assassin. So his alias is actually the Assassin too, as a tribute to his dad. So that's and I can't wait to see him. He's on a little small card, nothing too big.
I wish you guys would have gave me some names before. I would have did some research.
It's all good. It's all good. We've got all the names. Also, I featured a guy last week, Raymond Ford. He's fighting on the Boatsi card. He's 8-0 right now. He's going to be going up against Reese Bellotti. That should make out for a pretty good fight. Also, at the beginning of that card, you got Hopi Price versus Claudio Gran. Hopi Price, he's 4-0. He's this little wiry guy, super bantam. I love watching this kid, man. Super fast. Lots of exchanges. He's real quick, man. Many shots. It's going to be a great card. And then, honestly, we got the Casimiro and Ringadoo card with that's for the WBO World Bantam titles going on Saturday as well. That's going to be on Showtime. There's some guys to watch out on that card too. One of the guys is Gary Antonio Russell. He's 18-0. He's fighting Emmanuel Rodriguez for the WBA Interim World Bantam title.
Wait, Gary Russell?
Yeah, Gary Antonio Russell.
No, it's a different Gary Russell.
Yeah, this guy, he's bantamweight.
Okay.
18-0. He fights out of Washington. He's 28 years old. He's ranked second in the United States in his division, and he's ranked 20th in the world. He's a 66.7 knockout percentage. So, he's one of these guys. He's doing it. 18-0, 12 KOs.
Nice.
Yeah, there's tons of fights this weekend.
You will figure some of the to know the history and know and keep up with the Joneses in terms of fights and what's going on. I feel really embarrassed that I'm not really, because I'm supposed to follow up on boxing. We like Tim is training people. We all doing work training people and stuff. And you know all the fights lined up. You know what fight is coming on. I know people, they was like, oh, Showtime, this and that. I used to. And so there's a lot of boxers like me too. They retired, and that's what we need. We need them to get back into the industry, not in terms of like actually getting in the ring or training people, communicating with people, having that union we talked about. there's a lot of guys like we forgetting a lot of stuff, not being a part of it. And the promoters and managers of this day, using a lot of the old guys, and that's history. That's history. And then while we sitting here rusty, people start saying, well, boxing ain't like it used to be, like it used to be, or they're making statements like boxing is good, but it needs help. So you ran off a lot of names and stuff. I mean, I used to do that back in the day, but we gotta feed the kids, we gotta pay the bills. So boxing really needs support. We need support. There's a lot of. I tried to get Alfonso on, and he just blacked out today. I called him, and he was all happy yesterday, and then the day he was down and out, and I said, oh. So we will have to get him on another time. So there's a lot of that going on, there's a lot of that going on. And here it is. You shot up all these names. You knew he was a left-hander. You knew he threw uppercuts, this and that. And we should know a little bit of it. You should ask me a question and I should reply back, oh yeah, I know him. I seen him fight last week, but
see, I gotta watch all these fights though, because we got a knockout show on Sundays, and I gotta make sure I find the best knockout in the week. So every Sunday.
Oh, so you cheat? So you was cheating for this show? Okay.
No, I gotta watch. Oh man, I watched cards today already. I'm gonna watch 4 cards tomorrow. Honestly, one of the cards, if you guys get a chance to watch it, Virgil Ortiz Jr., knockout sensation. He's blowing it up right now. He's returning to the ring, putting his title on the line. 8 p.m. It should be good. We got Mean Machine Kavalakis. He's 22-1-1 with 18 KOs, and he's putting it on with Virgil Ortiz. That's going to be a banger of a fight. Virgil Ortiz, he's got these heavy hands, man. He just, he's putting people away. Straight knockout artist, straight, KO technician.
How many knockouts?
17-0 with 17. He's 100%.
And all of his opponents, what weight class?
He's the welterweight.
Okay. And what's the biggest name he fought?
This is going to be a kind of like a challenge to him, I guess. This is not really a stepping stone, but more of like, hey, let's put somebody with a little bit more experience in front of you, because you know what, any competition that he's been in front of so far, he's just banging them out, man. And I mean in due fashion. He's banged out some names already, but this one's supposed to be a little bit of a test. So we'll see how it goes, because his title's on the line. There's added pressure there when you're fighting and you got the belt behind you, right? So he wants to make sure he leaves with it. But he's one of those guys you want to watch him, man, because he's got it. He's got it, man. He's got the ability to just put people away. And
I've been hearing his name for a little while now.
Yeah. He's been all over the map. But I'm telling you guys, if you get a chance, Buatsi, check out Buatsi, man, on that DAZN card, 2 p.m. Joshua,
definitely.
He's one of these guys. He's actually contender right now for the knockout of the year, runner up. He's one of those, and I mean, like, what a vicious knockout that this guy was coming off of. Honestly, the shot heard around the world, kind of. It was that nasty like leather snap, and then just like the fold, and this guy's just got big power, and he puts away.
Nah, I didn't get a chance to see it. Now I got to do it, because now I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch. I mean, the clap is so classic. It's like just one of those noises. That pressure from that punch went all the way down his body into the feet, right into the ring, man. You could hear it, and he just folds over and like kisses his own knee before he hits the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good one. So that's one of the runners up for the knockout of the year. I even tell all our fight fans, man, go check that fight out. He's fighting tomorrow, and he's ready to bring it. And as soon as he sees an opening, he's ready to put him to bed.
Okay.
So, yes, and the Casemiro fight should be a good one tomorrow too. This one should be good. Aiden's chirping in on the side. Hey, Aiden, thank you for joining us. Welcome back to the Friday night panel. This card should be good too, man. Showtime Championship Boxing. They're always pretty good for some late night fights. It's what Guillermo Ring. I think this is how you pronounce it. It's Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux. There you go.
Yeah.
Rigondeaux. You didn't know Rigondeaux.
Rigondeaux's fighting, man. Rigondeaux is fighting. He's one of the most skilled fighters in all of boxing, and he will seek to add to his resume again.
Didn't he just get a knockout? I didn't mean to cut you off. Didn't he just get a knockout like 2 weeks ago, or something like that? I seen it on television where they had him standing over somebody, but I know he wasn't really like successful his last couple of fights, and then he slowed down. Now he's back again.
So his last fight was a split decision against Lidoro Solis.
Okay.
That went, yeah. So, and then the fight before that,
fight.
and then the fight was TKO when he fought. And then his last knockout in the first round was Giovanni Delgado back in 2019. So he hasn't had a lot of ring time.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of ring time. But yeah, these cards. What a great fight weekend, man! What more can you ask for?
Definitely.
Four nasty cards. Lots of people on them. There's a lot of good undercard fights, man. I've been following all these. See, I host a show called Knuckle Up, and I profile the young, the hungry, the undefeated, the undiscovered, and I'll profile them, man, and push them out there, and then get them on my show and talk and let everybody know the story. And I'm telling you, all these undercards are filled with guys that I've been talking about over the last almost year, and there's a lot of good fighters coming out and fighting tomorrow night. So guys,
you said DAZN,
Showtime, DAZN, Fight TV. It's all over. That's where it'll be. You'll see everything from there, and Showtime. Right. But see, Showtime's kind of hard to get the prelims. They usually show the last 2 or 3 fights. Just here you go.
Yeah.
You never really get to see the prelims unless some guy's holding his camera and he's yelling drunk slurs.
Right.
It's interesting. Last time you talked to Davey Hilton, the Hilton brothers, any of them?
We Big Ray had one of the Hiltons on from Montreal.
Okay, they tore Don King's camp up. They were good guys, but they didn't back up. They didn't back off of nobody. There's a lot of people of color in the camp, and when they came, they stood their ground. I was like, okay. And it was Stewart passed away. Stewart died in a car accident. It was Davey, and there was two other brothers that fought, right? You should know.
Yeah, we do know, but we're having a senior moment.
Also, another card I forgot to mention is the Franco Maloney card for the WBA World Superfly title. That's on as well. That'll be on USA, ESPN, and ESPN Plus.
One of the things I was going to mention for Tim Jr. One of the things we've noticed as well is the increase in the number of smaller leagues or smaller boxing associations. For example, there's a really good one out of Boston right now. What are they called, Mike? Boston
Boxing Promotions. They've been putting on a few good cards.
And they are. As a matter of fact, I think they put on Evander Holyfield's kid last week.
Yes, right? They had Evander Holyfield's son on there. What a great card. You guys can go back and check it. It's Boston Boxing Promotions. They're working with I think it's Southside or Southpaw Boxing Gym. And man, they threw like a fight camp, 3 weeks, 3-week fight camp every Friday. And I'll tell you, some of their fighters fought on all 3 cards. And they've got some great up and comers coming out of that area. And wow, they really know how to put on a show.
How did Evander Holyfield's son look? He all right?
He looked good. Looked good. Tim, I'll send you the link, champ. I'll send you the link to the fight so you can see it.
Okay. What I was wondering is
show him how to open it though.
I know. You know what I'll do? I'll cut just the fight and send it so it just opens.
Yo,
That's it.
I won't make it complicated.
Yeah, your link is complicated. If I had to write, if I had a laptop or bigger phone or better phone, this phone is okay. It would click in, but the space situation, that's why I couldn't get on it. But then I saw this little button after like 3 times I tried to get on. I was on the show and I hit the button and it started working. There's a button that you hit. I hit that little button, and that's how I got on.
That's how the internet works. Anyway, hey, listen, Tim Jr., I wanted to ask you a question, though. Because of the rich history of boxing in Philadelphia and because of what Boston's doing, I'm just curious whether there's an opportunity to have like a city versus city kind of promotion or championship on a city-by-city kind of basis.
I mean, I think that's been going on for a while. I believe that Marvin Hagler came through Philadelphia and fought all of our great middleweights that we had here. There's definitely an opportunity. Obviously, COVID has, slowed down a lot of things. Each state has its own laws about how to, do shows and how to interact. And right now it's getting a little bit worse with travel. But Philadelphia has always been a stopping ground. You had to come through Philadelphia. And Boston as well as you got your Mickey Wards and all those guys up there. And the Mohegan Sun has always done good in Connecticut. What I think really needs to happen is you just need those stars from each city. This is the first time that Philadelphia hasn't had. We have, who do we have? That's a world champion right now. There's
the Ennis, what's his name?
Jaron Ennis.
Ennis.
He's in the running, but we have Scooter Fulton. He is the IBO world champion. I believe he's the only champion in Philadelphia right now. I'm not versed in Boston or the New England area who's champions up there or not. But I think that, once we both have those two guys in the perfect storm, that it is going to happen. Just like I said, like when Marvin Hagler came, I believe he fought like Cyclone Hart. He fought Tyrone Carley. Did he fight or they were two different weight classes? Maybe I'm not sure.
No, he fought Willie the Worm Monroe.
Yeah, exactly.
Willie the Worm, Boogaloo Watts, and Cyclone Hart, and I think one more he fought. Right. I was at the Spectrum. Go ahead, finish. I was at the Spectrum when he fought. He fought a guy from California. I forgot his name. But go ahead, Tim. Finish.
No, I'm just saying, like this is a corridor for good fighting from Washington D.C. all the way up there. There's good boxing. You stop in Philadelphia, you stop in New York. You go up there, and it's inevitable. I fought in the amateurs. I fought at Gleason's in New York. It was a dream for me because my dad, I think you fought in Mohegan Sun. You fought, yeah. I remember you fought James Thunder there. Was that where you fought him?
I think so, yeah. It
was
I
like
underestimated him. I underestimated him too.
Yeah. You're good for that. All I'm saying is that, this Northeast corridor of America is rich in boxing and history. It's not just Philadelphia. It's, like I said, from Washington, D.C. all the way up. And eventually you have to fight somebody in this small space.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I mention it is because I think COVID's had an impact on, on local communities on one thing, cementing those local communities, whether it's Detroit, whether it's Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, Washington, like you're saying. So I wonder now when we come out of COVID, when it's finally over, you'll see stronger boxing communities being able to send teams, if you will, into these other cities, almost like a tour,
right?
Because these boxing communities, like your gym's doing well. We're hearing reports from other cities that their gyms are doing well. And there's a lot of interest, not just from the fitness aspect, not from the self-defense aspect, but young men and women wanted to get in the ring and actually wanted to fight.
So the number one problem that comes along with boxing, and you guys know, is being organized. Having everybody on the same page.
Right.
We all know that don't happen too.
Yeah. Where I think that, you might get this, there's a lot of Philadelphia versus Chicago, or Philadelphia versus, Miami or whatever. You might get a lot of those, but to organize a tour would be, I personally, just growing up in boxing, I think that would be rough. You would need one person in charge of that to make it happen, and they're
politics get in the way.
Yeah, because whenever there's, even if it's amateur boxing, there's money involved, and whenever there's money involved, boxing goes to shit. So,
I know, and the crazy thing is it's prize fighting. It's for money.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's
people get greedy, and that's with every business. But unfortunately, in our business, the boxers are the ones who lose out at the end of the day.
Definitely.
What I was going to say, hey Mike, what I was going to say is, in this post-COVID environment, because of the explosion of online exposure, whether it be through social media or platforms like what we're using right now, this platform, for example, Tim, has the ability to live stream events. So we could actually bring a crew to Philadelphia and live stream your cards, just for example. Like that's what's happening during COVID.
Right.
There's a great number of boxers being trained. There's more and more people getting interested in boxing, as opposed to back in the day. They might have, fight fans might have migrated to wrestling. They might have migrated to UFC, whatever. Yeah. But nowadays, you seem to be coming back to boxing.
Yeah,
and especially driven by women.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, and not just in the gym, but professional fighters, like what Clarissa Shields has done, what Katie Taylor's done, let alone Ivani Bridges, what she's done. All these really great fighting women out there are bringing in a whole new generation of fans.
And I think that the big point that you made was, platforms. We're living in a day where people can be their own managers in a way. A good fighter that, I shouldn't have let good come out of my mouth first. a respectable fighter. Ryan Garcia is very good at using social media to manage himself, to promote himself. So a lot of people are getting interested because we're allowed to talk for ourselves right into the camera. People are seeing, boxers, where before you might have had a press conference, then you never heard from them until after the fight. Right now, we're dealing with people being able to be their own businesses, where before you had to do what Don King said. Now you're able to. Pretty much, Ryan Garcia can put a video out there of him getting, punching a football player in the stomach, and next thing you know, he's making 10 grand in his next fight because he sold views, and that's really what's going on with these YouTube fighters as well, and that's why that's becoming a big deal. If people are getting views, that translates into dollars, and that translates into the greedy people, again, wanting to use those fighters because they know people will buy their fights pay-per-view. But that's the gift and the curse. I think that, being able to be your own manager, being able to create your own content out there is beautiful. It's just the lines get blurry when the person who is doing it is not an actual fighter. I don't blame them for doing it, making a lot of money. I wish I could have done it that way. But there's a lot of fighters out there that deserve shots and deserve to feed their kids who don't get the same opportunity. I think that we all have to adjust to this new era that we're in, as far as social media goes.
That's how I find a lot of my fighters that I profile is through social media.
Right.
I spend hours and hours a day scouring all the social media platforms, looking for boxers, looking for professionals, amateurs who are about to, make the transition. I reach out to them. I've had people on my show from places that are not known for boxing, like, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Right.
Where 5 years ago they didn't have a boxing community. Right. There was no boxing community.
Wait, isn't that where Deontay's from, right?
Well, yeah, like 5 years ago they didn't really have nothing.
Right,
it wasn't
so
what it is now.
This is the other thing too.
That allowed these people to get out there.
The thing that it helps too, and adds another aspect is, I don't know if you guys know this, but fighters used to have to find tape on who they're fighting. Yep. I remember my dad having to get tapes sent in the mail so they can watch it in camp. Nowadays, you just got to put someone's name in the computer and you can see about them. So boxers have to be we're a little bit tactical about how they are on the internet because
I've noticed a lot of them do. A lot of them are tactical, depending on who you're talking to. Some of them do really, really covert mission, their like whole training through social media. They'll show little clips and stuff, but then you get those people that just let it all out there, and it's like you've now just showed your opponent everything.
Yeah.
Right? So it's crazy, man, the way that boxing is like becoming this whole new thing, this whole new giant conglomerate of fighters from around the world that now we have the ability to see these fighters. There's fighters in the corners of all the countries.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever seen before that, could be the next Manny, could be the next Mike Tyson, could be the next Tim Witherspoon,
Exactly.
Could be all these guys. And it's now with the way that technology is going and, society and social media, now we're actually starting to get to see these guys. I've stumbled onto lots and lots of these young fighters who, 20, 25 fights under their belt. They're 20 years old. We've never heard of them. But they're destroying people when they get in the ring, and it's just social media has helped that, and it's crazy how it's come so forward like that, man. It's incredible, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Yeah.
Real quick, I seen Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua putting their videotapes out there years ago. We used to watch, like Tim just said, we watched videotape just to see where the weaknesses and the strengths are, and we try to capitalize on them. But now you got guys like Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder posting their skills and stuff, and the skills to me are not accurate. Like Joshua was bouncing around like an amateur, and I sent texts to some of the people, said, look, get the word to Anthony and tell him to take that video down. He looked like an amateur. No, he bounced around, and Deontay Wilder, and I love these guys. I love them. But Deontay Wilder was Malik Scott was holding the pad with him, and there was certain things that it was repetitious. He kept doing the same thing over again, and there was no defense involved. Now my trainer, he would watch this and capitalize on it and say, whoa, if he saw Anthony Joshua doing that, like we watched the video, oh man, he'll eat that alive. And Deontay Wilder, so they think it's helping them, but it's working. It could be working against them if their opponents, training and stuff, are intelligent in terms of their skills, watching their skills, because I didn't see nothing really fantastic. But they think it is. They shouldn't be posting. It could hurt you. It could hurt you.
Right. Mm-hmm. We're getting to that hour. It's getting to that time, guys.
That was a fast hour.
I know it was a fast hour. You know what? When you're having good conversation, the time just flies, right? First, I just want to say thanks to Aiden for chiming in with your comments. He's also dropped us a time schedule for tomorrow. So, guys, here's the breakdown Saturday schedule. Joshua Boazzi is at 3 p.m. on DAZN. Ortiz Jr., 8 p.m. DAZN. Casimiro, 9 p.m. Showtime. Franco Maloney, ESPN, 10 p.m. So there are your times, guys, for all the fights tomorrow night. Make sure you go out there and watch them. Champ, always a pleasure. Much love. Tim, honor to meet you, man. It was great. Definitely, I want to,
I got to get you guys on my podcast.
Definitely.
I'll email you.
Definitely email me. I'll drop you an email. Email me, and we'll get that on for sure, man. I'm down.
Yeah, just keep in touch. Keep in touch with my son.
Always.
And try to, because he's very creative, and I'm really proud of him. And I'm gonna have to start reading books so I can get sharp, because he's sharp.
That's because Evander Holyfield's my real dad. That's why.
Holy shit! I don't have enough water, man. Holy shit! Holy shit!
I might go into stand up here soon.
Yeah, man, maybe. All right. That being said, guys, thank you, Graham. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Fight fans, Aiden, thank you for tuning in. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Friday Night Panel. Always the same time, same channel. Make sure you hit us next week. Join us Sunday, 4 p.m. for the knockout of the week. See who the winner is. It's going to be a doozy. We'll see you next week.